Welcome.
Why do billions of people refuse to eat pork? Is it a religious rule? A health risk? Or did pigs just offend the wrong people in ancient history? Some of you are probably thinking, who cares? Pork is delicious! While others are already nodding like, yup, never touching that stuff. Either way, by the end of this, you'll know exactly why pork is forbidden in some parts of the world, and trust me, it's more interesting than you think. Let's start with the most obvious reason: religion. For Muslims and Jews, pork is a hard no. If you look at the Quran, there's a verse in Surah Al-Baqarah, 2:173 that says, "He has only forbidden to you dead animals, blood, the flesh of swine." Translation? Pigs are off the menu. Same in Judaism. The Torah, Leviticus 11 verses 7 to 8, calls pigs unclean, because even though they have split hooves, they don't chew cud. That's the kosher rule. If an animal doesn't meet all the requirements, it's not meant to be eaten. But let's be real, if you tell someone, hey, don't eat that, they're gonna ask, why not? So what's the actual reason pigs got banned? Were they causing chaos in ancient villages? Stealing crops? Plotting against humanity? Not quite, but pigs did have a serious PR problem. Back in ancient times, people realized that pork could make you really sick. See, pigs eat pretty much anything: garbage, rotten food, dead animals, even other pigs. And because they eat so dirty, they can carry some nasty diseases. If pork isn't cooked properly, it can pass along parasites like trichinosis, which basically turns your stomach into a war zone. Imagine feeling like you got hit by a truck, just because you ate the wrong piece of meat. So back in the day, avoiding pork literally saved lives. And when religious laws were being written, this wasn't just a suggestion, it was survival. But here's the thing, we've got fridges now. We've got hygiene, better cooking techniques, and strict food regulations. So why is pork still forbidden in these religions? Because religion isn't just about science, it's about faith, tradition, and identity. When a rule is followed for thousands of years, it becomes deeply ingrained in culture. Think about it, if your entire family, community, and ancestors avoided pork, are you really gonna be the first one to break the tradition just for a slice of bacon? Probably not. Even outside religion, some cultures naturally avoided pork for other reasons. In ancient China, pigs were considered too valuable to eat. They were used to get rid of waste, so eating them would have been a waste of a waste disposer. Meanwhile, in parts of India, some Hindu communities avoid pork because of their beliefs about purity. Now, let's talk about the modern-day dilemma. Some people from non-pork eating backgrounds have never even thought about trying it. But what happens if they eat it by accident? Do alarms go off? Does a secret religious police force show up? Not quite. For some, it's a huge deal. They might feel guilty, pray for forgiveness, or even go through purification rituals. For others, it's just an oops moment. They won't eat it again, but they won't stress about it either. It really depends on how strictly they follow their faith. But here's what not to do: don't try to trick someone into eating pork. Some people think it's funny, but it's actually super disrespectful. If someone tells you they don't eat pork, respect it. No debates, no. Just try a little bite. No sneaky bacon in the food. Just let them be. So, we've covered why billions of people don't eat pork, but there's so much more to this story. Let's go even deeper into history, science, culture, and some truly bizarre facts about pork that you probably never heard before. First off, let's rewind way back, even before religious laws were written. Ancient civilizations had some pretty wild views on pigs. Some worshipped them, others hated them, and a few just thought they were plain weird. Take ancient Egypt, for example. You'd think they'd love pigs because they had so many animals, right? Nope. The Egyptians avoided pigs like they were cursed. They believed pigs were connected to the evil god Seth, the dude responsible for all kinds of chaos. Farmers who raised pigs were even banned from entering temples. Imagine being shunned just because you had a pig in your backyard. But then there were the Romans, who took the opposite approach. These guys loved pork. In fact, Roman soldiers carried salted pork with them wherever they went. Fun fact: this is where we get the word salary, because soldiers were often paid in salt, which preserved meat. So technically, pork helped fund the Roman Empire. Now let's fast forward to the Middle Ages. This is when things got interesting because pork became a class symbol. In Europe, rich people ate beef, and poor people ate pork. That's because cows required way more land and resources, while pigs could be raised almost anywhere. So if you were eating pork, you were probably struggling. Funny how times change, huh? Speaking of change, let's talk science. Remember how ancient people avoided pork because of disease? Well, modern science actually backs them up. Even today, if pork isn't properly cooked, it can carry trichinosis, tapeworms, and other nasty parasites. That's why you can eat a medium-rare steak, but pork? You better cook that thing all the way through. But here's where things get weird. Pigs and humans have a lot in common. DNA-wise, pigs are shockingly similar to us. That's why pig organs are sometimes used in medical research and even transplants. There's a reason doctors have experimented with using pig hearts to help humans. So next time you see a pig, just remember, you might have more in common than you think. Now let's get into cultural taboos. Did you know that in some places, even talking about pork can get you in trouble? In certain countries, mentioning pork in a disrespectful way can lead to serious consequences. There are even airports where you can't bring pork products at all. It's illegal to bring a ham sandwich into some parts of the world. But here's something even crazier. There have been wars over pigs. One of the weirdest examples is the Pig War of 1859 between the US and Britain. Long story short, an American settler in Canada shot a British pig, and both sides almost went to war over it. Can you imagine explaining that in history class? Yes, children, there was a war over a pig. Now let's bring it back to today. We know that some cultures avoid pork because of religion, tradition, and health reasons. But what about the places where pork is huge? China, for example, eats more pork than anywhere else in the world. In fact, they love pork so much that they literally have a national pork reserve. Yes, a backup supply of pork, like oil, but for bacon. Meanwhile, in the US, bacon culture is out of control. We've got bacon-wrapped everything, bacon-flavored ice cream, even bacon-scented cologne. That's dedication. So, at the end of the day, pork is either the best thing ever or a total forbidden food, depending on where you are in the world. What do you think? Would you ever give up pork completely? Or is bacon just too powerful? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing content. See you in the next one. 2 centuries of wisdom, a cake big enough to fit all those candles, and people asking, how did you do it? But here's the thing, as amazing as that sounds,